My mom bought herself a new car with the money I saved for a house. Now she's accusing me of being ungrateful. I still can't believe I'm even saying this, because it doesn't feel real. Imagine working every single day for 6 years, scrimping and saving, watching your friends go on vacations, buying nice things, and knowing you can't because every single cent is going toward your dream. And then one day you wake up and poof, it's gone. Every last dollar. Not because of some stranger, but because of the one person you thought you could trust more than anyone, your mom. Let me back up. I'm 28 years old, and I've been saving for my first house since I graduated college. I didn't come from money, far from it. My parents struggled my whole childhood, and I grew up watching them fight over bills, stress about rent, and go without basic things so we could get by. That's why buying a house has always been my goal. I wanted stability, security. I didn't want to spend my life in fear of losing the roof over my head. For 6 years, I worked multiple jobs, budgeted like crazy, and finally managed to save $35,000. I was so proud of myself. I even opened a separate savings account for it, so I wouldn't be tempted to touch it. The account was under my name, but because I was raised to trust my family completely, I let my mom have access to it. I didn't think anything of it at the time. She's my mom. She raised me. Why wouldn't I trust her? Last week I logged into my account to make the final transfer before meeting with my realtor. My heart was pounding with excitement. I was finally about to make this dream a reality. But when I opened the app, I froze. My balance was 0. At first, I thought there had to be some kind of mistake. I refreshed the page, closed the app, opened it again, still 0. My first thought was fraud. I immediately called the bank, frantic, and they told me the money had been withdrawn in 2 transactions over the past month. The withdrawals were done in person at a local branch. I asked who authorized it, and when they said my mom's name, my stomach dropped. I called her right away, and the second she picked up, I knew. She sounded annoyed, like I was inconveniencing her. When I told her what I discovered, she said, "Oh yeah, I was going to tell you about that." My mind was spinning. I asked her what she did with the money, and she just casually said, "I bought a car. It's a BMW. Isn't that exciting?" Exciting? I asked her why she thought it was okay to take my money without asking, and she got defensive. She said, "You weren't using it yet, and I needed it. You're young. You have plenty of time to save. I've never had anything nice in my life, and I deserve this." She even had the audacity to say, "You should be happy for me. After everything I've done for you, this is the least you can do." The least I can do? This wasn't money I'd casually saved over a few months.
It was 6 years of my life.
6 years of sacrifices, sleepless nights, and saying no to things I wanted so I could build a better future. And she just took it like it was hers to begin with. The more she talked, the angrier I got. I asked if she planned to pay me back, and she laughed. She actually laughed. She said, "I'll pay you back when I can, but you shouldn't rush me. It's not like you need it right away." At that moment, I realized she didn't feel the slightest bit guilty. To her, this wasn't a betrayal. It was her right. I hung up on her. That night I sat in my apartment and cried for hours. I felt stupid for trusting her, but more than that, I felt betrayed. She was supposed to be the one person who always had my back.
How could she do this to me?
The next day I told a close friend, and she was furious on my behalf. She said I should demand the money back, but I know my mom. She doesn't have it. She used my savings for the down payment, and the rest is tied up in monthly payments for a car she couldn't afford in the first place. Part of me wants to cut her off completely, but another part feels guilty. She's my mom. She raised me. She sacrificed so much for me growing up. Doesn't that mean I owe her something? Or am I just making excuses because I don't want to face who she really is? I don't even know what I'm hoping to get out of telling this story. Maybe I just needed to vent. Maybe I'm hoping someone else has been through this and can tell me how they handled it. All I know is right now I feel like I've lost not just my money, but my trust in her, and I don't know how to move forward. Update: after my first post, I honestly didn't expect so much support. Reading your comments made me feel validated and less alone, so thank you for that. Unfortunately, things have gotten worse. A lot worse. I've learned some things about my mom that completely changed how I see her, and now I'm questioning if I ever really knew her at all. It started after I confronted her. I stopped answering her calls. I was too angry and needed space. But my mom didn't seem to understand boundaries. She kept blowing up my phone, leaving voicemails alternating between guilt trips and outright anger. One minute she was sobbing about how she didn't mean to hurt me. The next she was accusing me of being ungrateful for everything she'd done for me. Then she started dragging the rest of the family into it. She told my aunt and cousins her version of the story. One where I'm some selfish, ungrateful brat who doesn't appreciate all the sacrifices she made growing up. She left out the small detail about stealing $35,000 and made it sound like I was mad because she borrowed a little money. Next thing I know, I'm getting texts from relatives telling me how disrespectful I am. One cousin even said, "Your mom worked so hard to give you a good life, and this is how you repay her? She deserved something nice for once." None of them even bothered to ask for my side. When I tried explaining what really happened, their response was, "Well, she's your mom. Family comes first. Is that some kind of get-out-of-jail-free card? Does being a parent give you the right to steal from your child?" I ended up blocking most of them. If they couldn't see what was wrong with what she did, I didn't need them in my life. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized this wasn't just about the car or the money. It was about control. My mom has always had this way of making me feel like I owe her everything. Growing up, she'd constantly remind me of how much she sacrificed. If I ever disagreed or tried to set boundaries, she'd guilt-trip me until I gave in. The turning point came when I confided in one of my best friends who knows my family well. She said, "You know she did the same thing to your brother, right?" I was stunned. When I called my brother, he told me the truth. Years ago, when he was saving for college, our mom borrowed a chunk of his savings to renovate the house. She promised to pay him back, but never did. He had to take out extra student loans because of it. And when he confronted her, she used the exact same excuses. Hearing that broke something inside me. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was a pattern. That brings me to the most recent development. After a week of ignoring her, my mom showed up at my apartment unannounced in her shiny new BMW, acting like nothing happened. She even tried to hand me the keys and said, "Why don't you take it for a spin? Maybe it'll help you see why I needed it." I told her I didn't care about the car. I cared that she stole from me and didn't even feel bad about it. That's when she started crying and saying, "I'm your mother. I raised you. I deserve some respect." I told her respect is earned, not demanded, and she lost mine the second she decided her wants were more important than my future. She stormed off, but not before saying, "Fine, if you want to act like a stranger. Don't come crying to me when you need help someday." I stood there watching her drive away in the car she bought with my money, and all I could think was, I'll never ask you for anything again. Since then, I've started looking into legal options. A lot of you suggested contacting a lawyer, and I did. It's tricky because I gave her access to the account, but there are laws against misappropriation of funds, even between family members. It's not just about the money anymore. It's about standing up for myself. Final update. I decided to go all in on the legal route. I met with a lawyer, explained everything, and they confirmed I had a case. My mom used my savings without permission for something unrelated to my benefit. It could be classified as theft or misappropriation, even though we're family. My lawyer suggested sending a demand letter first, giving her one last chance to make it right without court. So we sent it. 3 days later, my mom called, crying, saying she didn't mean for things to get this bad, and that I didn't understand what was really going on. For a second I felt hope, but that hope died fast. The family found out I was suing her, and suddenly, I was the villain again. Then I started digging, and discovered the BMW wasn't paid off. She was already behind on payments. The car was about to be repossessed. She'd blown through my entire savings and couldn't even keep up with the loan. Then her bank called me, thinking I was her because she'd added my name as a backup contact without telling me. Her account was overdrawn. I confronted her one last time. She broke down and admitted she was drowning in debt and thought my savings was her only way out. "I didn't think you'd miss it," she said. "I thought I could pay it back before you noticed." That was the final straw. Here's the twist. The day before mediation, her ex-friend called me. My mom had tried to sell the BMW to her, even though it was still financed, and was planning to move out of state and ghost everyone, leaving the debt and me behind. In the end, I didn't have to go to court. Under pressure, she sold the BMW through mediation and paid back a portion of what she owed. I didn't get the full $35,000, but I got enough to start over. The rest I'm writing off as a very expensive lesson. We're not on speaking terms anymore, and honestly, I'm okay with that. I've set boundaries for the first time in my life, and it feels freeing. She may be my mom, but I've realized family doesn't mean unconditional forgiveness. Trust has to be earned, and she broke mine beyond repair. This is Cheat Exposed, and this story is a reminder. Protect your money, protect your peace, and never feel guilty for choosing yourself.